Well, hello everyone and welcome to my January book roundup, where I'm going to give you very short reviews and ratings of the 9 books that I finished this January. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to do that so you can be all ready for that February video as well as any other content I decide to produce in between now and then. My rating system is very simple. 5 stars. 5 means I love the book. 4 means I really liked it. 3 means I liked it. 2 I didn't like it. 1 I hated it. And I do use 0.5s. So here we go. First book was actually a Kindle book, and it was Thrawn by Timothy Zahn. I like these Star Wars novels because they're good change of pace for me. A lot of times I'm choosing longer books or more challenging books, and these are really easy reads that go down pretty quick. This one was very good because Thrawn is a very compelling character, and Timothy Zahn is a very solid writer. So I gave Thrawn by Timothy Zahn 3.5 out of 5. All right, next up, I'm going to save that one for last. Next up, I could do these two together. So Shadows of Self and The Bands of Mourning by Brandon Sanderson are the second and third books in his Wax and Wane series, or Mistborn Era 2, whatever you want to call it, which is a really interesting mixture of a fantasy genre with a Western genre. I know a lot of die-hard fantasy fans don't like that aspect of it, but I personally do because I do enjoy both genres. Although I gave all 3 books in this series the same rating, I do feel as you get deeper into the series, it does get better. There's further character development, the stakes are raised a little bit with each book, and then I also just enjoy finding out what happened between the first era of Mistborn and this era, the 300 years in between. It's interesting just to find the little things that happened along the way. So I gave Shadows of Self and The Bands of Mourning 4 out of 5 stars for both books. I read one more by Sanderson this month, and this was Warbreaker, which is one of those rare standalone fantasy novels. What most impressed me with this book was how fast-paced it was. You know, for a 600-page book to never sag, it really takes some skill on the writer's part. And one of the reasons is that Sanderson is very good at plotting. But I really enjoyed this one. Another thing I liked that I didn't at first is he doesn't drop a lot of history and lore and like how the magic works in this world early in the book, and it caused a little confusion early on, but as I got deeper into the book I really appreciated it, and I think it was the correct narrative choice. Like all Sanderson, great characters, great ending. This one I gave a 4.5 out of 5. All right, next book, Hearts in Atlantis by Stephen King. I already did a full review on this because this was my first 5-star book of the year. So I'm going to link that video in the description. I'd love for you to see it. Not a lot of people saw that video, but I really enjoyed this book. I find that it's not one of Stephen King's best books, but I find it's one of his most underrated books. And I did give it a 5 out of 5 because I did love this book. All right, I read Wagnerism, Art and Politics in the Shadow of Music by Alex Ross. I was really blown away by the amount of research and scholarship that Alex Ross had to bring to this volume, because this is an extremely broad topic that is not just focused on the music of Richard Wagner. However, it's a pretty dry read, so I can really only recommend it for people that are, you know, extremely interested in this particular topic. If you are, this is probably going to be a book that you'll enjoy. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. All right, Pronto by Elmore Leonard. I really enjoyed the show Justified with Timothy Oliphant as U.S. Marshal Raylan Givens. So when I found out that there were 4 books by Elmore Leonard featuring Raylan Givens, I knew I had to check out the source material. Pronto is the first book that Givens appears, so I figured that's the perfect place to start. And I really enjoyed this book. The characterization is very strong, plotting is solid, and it was a really quick read I put down in like 2 days. I'll definitely be reading more of Elmore Leonard's Raylan Givens novels in the future. I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5. All right, 2 to go. So this beautiful Easton Press edition of Charles Dickens' The Pickwick Papers. I love Dickens. I'm preparing a video on my favorite authors, and you know, Dickens makes the top 10. However, this is his first novel, and it shows. It's the plotting is almost non-existent. It's a very meandering story. There's a lot of funny scenes along the way, but overall it's just a really meandering plot and a bunch of shaggy dog stories that really don't add anything to the narrative. So sorry, Charles, but 2.5 out of 5 on the Pickwick Papers. All right, last and certainly not least is All Right, The Oral History of Richard Linklater's Dazed and Confused by Melissa Mertz. Dazed and Confused is one of my all-time favorite movies, filmed here in Austin, Texas, and when I saw this book was out, I just knew I had to read it. I don't normally like oral histories, but in this case I enjoyed it because it allowed a lot of people to contribute to the story. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. So if you're a fan of the movie, should you read this book? It'd be a lot cooler if you did. Anyway, that's my January roundup. Book of the month, Hearts in Atlantis by Stephen King. My average rating for the month was 3.8. And if you want a little sneak preview to February, some things I plan on reading. I have some Isaac Asimov on the shelf. I plan on starting Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive with The Way of Kings. And I just started a peculiar little book called The Book of Eels by Daniel Svensson. So you can look for that and more with my February book roundup. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Twitter. I do one-sentence book reviews every time I finish a book, so you can get more content from me more frequently if you do that. But thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.